Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Elijah. I'm a self-taught mandolin player, and I thought it might be interesting to show you some of the methods I've used to sort of teach myself and to build up my own practice routines and methods. I've uploaded a tablature copy that I've handwritten out of this particular piece. We're looking at the Allemande, the first movement from the second partita for solo violin by Johann Sebastian Bach. I've also provided a link to the notation on IMSLP so you can follow along with the tablature or with the standard notation, whatever you prefer. I'm playing on an Eastman 615. That's my main instrument for now, so we'll be sticking to that for the foreseeable future. And this is a piece that I use normally to sort of start every practice session. I use it to warm up. It's a very good left-hand dexterity piece. It goes across a wide range of strings. You get to try out different picking, but it's a nice slow regular tempo. So you don't feel rushed or anything. You get to feel the piece flow in a pretty normal way. So you can kind of just ease into playing stuff a bit higher up the neck or a bit faster or getting that kind of sort of rhythmic difficulty out of it. And it's got two parts. We're going to start, see how far we get. I might have to upload this into two videos, but I'll be telling you where we are based on the numbering of the measures, which I think I've put into the tablature as well. You really should be following along on the step notation though. It's very helpful to know. And yeah, here we go. I'll just start playing the tune a little bit so you can get a feel of it, and then we'll go into it sort of bit by bit. So that's the first part. You might notice a couple of mistakes here and there, especially towards the end where you get up a little bit higher onto that high D on the 10th fret. You might also notice that my E string is a little bit out of tune. It's impossible to keep a mandolin tuned properly, so don't worry too much about that. Anyway, it's got a nice regular tempo, falls pretty slowly. So we're going to start looking off the very first few measures. You've got a pickup note on the open D, and you've got that little sort of double note there. So I like to play the D on the G string as well on the 7th fret right there, as well as the open D string, so you get that very nice little sort of sound, right? And then you just carry on, you go back with the normal sort of, depending on how far you're going up, the general approach of sort of first finger for 1st and 2nd fret, 2nd finger for 2nd and 3rd, sometimes 4th fret if you need it, 3rd finger for 4th and 5th fret, sometimes and 6th fret, and the 4th finger usually only for the 7th fret, sometimes for the 6th, especially when you've got like that B flat kicking about there. The piece itself is in D minor, I believe. That's why we've got the little flat notation on the B string. So anytime you've got to play a B, which would be down here on the, or here on the G string, or here on the A string, and up here on the E string on the 6th fret. So instead of the natural On the 4th, 2nd, and 7th frets, you play it 1 fret down. That's what flat means, obviously. 3rd fret, 1st fret, and 6th fret. So whenever there's a B, it's a flat one. So starting out, you've got fairly straightforward sort of scale, arpeggio mix up with a nice little melody, and you've got that slow start, and then you get back into it with the E. You hear that? That was buzzy. That's we're extending down to that C sharp. So if you play that all together nice and slow in one go, you can get a pretty good deal with it, right? And you've got, you can see here on the first line, you've got in the first measure, there's a C sharp on the G string, so 6th fret, and there's another one in the second measure, again on the 6th fret. Now that's a bit of a stretch, so you can decide whether you feel better by stretching your 3rd finger out a little more, and you have the advantage of the 3rd finger being a stronger finger, or whether you just want to use the 4th finger and just make sure that you've got enough pressure coming down with the 4th finger to actually get that note sounding nicely without buzzing. So that's probably the biggest thing about this first line. Pay attention to the B flats. When you've got the open E at the end of the first measure, I like playing that on the open string. Let it ring, because it's nice and slow. You hear that? It's a nice ring, yeah. You've got your triplets. So you just speed those up a little bit, right? It's all very scale oriented. From the second measure. You hear the triplets. Back into the 4. Triplets. 4. Triplets. And back to the 4. This is lovely. Very straightforward. Every finger fits pretty perfectly and automatically into whichever fret you're going to, right? So you've got the 3rd measure right there. You've got your F and your open D. So 2nd finger on the F on the 3rd fret. And then your triplets from the B flat down to the G. Use your 1st finger for the B flat on the 1st fret right there. Open A down to G. And then it's A, G, and F, right? So the triplets are, and you go back into the E, E, G, B flat, D, and then you've got 2 more triplets from C to A, C, B flat, A. So 2nd finger, 1st finger opens. It's all very. We're not having to do too many finger crossovers. We're not getting really too fucked up in how complex our left hand needs to be. So you've got that nice and slow, very basic scale stuff. And here as well, A, F, so open string, 2nd finger, open string, 2nd finger, up to the high F, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd. You've got that F, G, A, 1st fret, 3rd fret, and 5th fret. And we're just using the basic 3 fingers for that position. So move the 2nd finger down to the C, same fret, up to the B, 3rd finger, and you've still got open A, B, and D. So you're still using the 1st fret, the 3rd fret, and the 5th fret, and your fingers can stay exactly where they are. You see that? B flat right there, so your pinky, you see that coming up from the G, the 2nd finger, 3rd finger for the A, pinky for the B flat. So you've got, this is in the 4th measure, yeah? And then back to open E. And that measure, that's the 5th measure, it's all very straightforward. Open E, B flat, C, G, right? So open string, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, open A, B and C. So open string, 1st finger, 2nd finger. Move your 1st finger down to the E. Remember that it's not on the 1st fret anymore, it's on the 2nd fret right there. Yeah, so you got to be a little bit sneaky there. 2nd finger for the F, First finger's already on the right fret, just move one string down for the A, B flat with the second finger, up to G with the third finger, I hope you can see well enough, down to the C with your third finger, and you've got that C third finger, E first finger, G third finger, B flat first finger. See right there? So here, 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 and here. Yeah? Into the sixth measure. We've got a C sharp coming up on the bottom string. So pay attention to that. Until then, it's still nice and straightforward. Open A. Right? Open A, G, F, A. Still using third and second finger in the fifth and third frets. Up to D. Third finger, fifth fret on the A string, right? F, E, D. So you hear that? Pretty straightforward. The first finger has to switch back between the first fret for the B flat and the second fret for the E natural. That's pretty much all there is that's tricky at this point. So we've got that. And then we've got to stretch a third finger down for the C sharp. Well, you don't have to. You can use your fourth finger, but I'd recommend using the third finger just here. So stretch that out a little bit. Get down to that sixth fret right there. Get that C sharp. And then move your right hand all the way up to the top string for the open E, F, and G. Down to A. And then move the G back down to E. You hear that? So. And we carry on back to F. Right, so first finger on the first fret. Open, third finger on the D. Move the first finger down to the E. Now we've got some natural signs here just to remind you that we're not doing the C sharp anymore, but we've also got a B natural, yes? You see that sort of lightning bolt next to the B. So make sure that we get that on the fourth fret rather than the third, the way we've been doing so far. So. And then we've got a G sharp, okay? It's the lowest note, but there's a sharp next to it. So you want to slide that first finger back from the A. This is the seventh measure, yeah? When we're walking down from the D, you've got D, C natural, B natural, A. So you've got D, C natural, B natural, A, and then there's a G sharp. So you want to slide that first finger back down to the G sharp, and then squeeze your second finger in on the B natural that's coming up here. This is slightly tricky maybe, because it's a little bit close quarters. Use your second finger for the B, third finger for the C, fourth finger for the D, right? So we've got our whole hand scrunched up there in the first 5 frets, because you're going down with the first finger from the G sharp, yeah? You got to make sure that your pinky's got enough power coming behind it, because it's your weakest finger and it'll be a bit of a pain if you're not quite, it'll buzz a bit or won't sound quite great unless you've got enough power behind it. So you got that G sharp, and then you've got an E, so you can move your first finger back up, and now we're back in the normal position. First finger on the second fret. You can take your fourth finger off in the meantime and use your third finger for the D again, and now we're back to normal, yeah? Okay, you hear that? So that is the 8th measure. We're coming in. We've got the C, second finger, first finger on the B. Very easy, right? Second, first, open, first. And now we've got these little extra, we've got these 30-second notes tossed in, yeah? After the very first note of these bars of 4, we've got some 30-second notes tossed in. And you've got, in this case, it's C, F, E, D, C. Then you've got 4 18th notes. 16th notes, Christ. And then you've got your B, E, D. So you can either do open with the downward motion, right? I like that. I like doing the downward picking for the open E, and then coming right back down for the upstroke for the D. Or you can just alternate pick on the same string using your pinky finger for the E on the 7th fret. So you've got You hear that? Yeah, so C, F, E, first fret to open, and then B, E, D, pinky finger or open to D. Ninth measure, right? So A, G, F, G, A. Don't worry about the pinky here, just use the open one because you're going in a downward motion anyway. You got to come back down to the D, B natural, G sharp, so stretch your third finger out there to the 6th fret. Very scales, right? Not that much of an issue. Here we go, we're going a little bit higher. There's a G sharp, which means the 4th fret on the E string, and there's a B natural, which means 7th fret. So when you're coming down, you've got, in the 10th measure, after those first notes, you move up. I use my second finger for the G sharp, 3rd finger for the A, and the 4th finger for the B natural because it goes back down to the A afterwards, so you don't have to go any higher, right? And then you've got an F sharp, use your 1st finger for that. So what you've got is you've got some more of those 30-second notes tossed in, right? C, D, use the open E. F, we're back to F natural now, no more F sharp. And we've got a B natural as well, so you've got C, D, F, A, B, C, D, E, G natural, down to A, B, C, D, F, down to G, A, B, C, E. So there's B naturals, it's all naturals. It's like we're playing this in C at this point, yeah? So we're going in from the usual D minor key into C for this section here. This is the 11th measure, right? And it's this lovely cascading little, it's these little scales that just start cascading down, right? Starting from the C. Into the 12th measure, F. Down to the E. Now we've got some sharps, bear that in mind, F sharp and G sharp, right? So you've got your 1st finger on the E right there, 2nd finger for the F sharp, 3rd finger for the G sharp, and then you're going to have to pull your 2nd finger back up for the C. Luckily you've got an open A in the middle that will buy you some time to pull your finger back from its outstretched position. You see that? I've used the open A to pull my hand back a little bit. So you've got F, E, down to D, C sharp, stretch the 3rd out again, remember? Going to practice that a bit. F natural, back to B flat. Okay? So the 12th measure is onto the 13th. Very simple. Right, those little 30 seconds right there. The B's flat again, mind, so it's the 6th fret there with your pinky. This is the sort of apex of the first half, this 14th measure. We start with a G sharp. Okay. Wish that was staying in tune. G sharp. B natural, so you've got to use your pinky finger all the way up on the 7th fret. 30-second notes, right? So normal G sharp, the way we've been playing it most of the time, and then a fast transition from the B flat to the A, back to the G sharp. There's two 30-second notes in this that you may have noticed, right? You've got your B natural to A, and then you've got an F natural to E. So you've got to be quick with the stretch. Your 2nd finger is our resting finger. That's going to stay there on the G sharp because we've got 2 G sharps in this little sequence of notes, right? Okay, so you see what I've done there? I've used my pinky finger, my 3rd finger to do from the B natural to the A, back down to the G, and then I had to stretch my 1st finger down to the 1st fret, and done the 30-second notes there from the F to the E. And then F, E again, B natural, A. So the first bit of that measure there sounds like this. Then we get into G sharp. Mind you, the third finger comes out again. It can be a bit of a stretch sometimes to have your hand stay in what is essentially first position and stretching your third finger out to the 6th fret and your first finger back to the 1st. But if you just try to take it slow, play one note at a time and be a little bit fluid with your hand, you shouldn't have that much of a problem. So, now we move up. You see how we've got a high D coming up? I'm moving my hand up in preparation of that high D. So when I get up to that, when I get up to the high, the G sharp on the top string, in this bit right here, I move my hand up so my first finger's playing the G sharp, third finger for the B natural, open E, and I'll use that to move my whole hand up and come down onto the D on the 10th fret with my third finger, right? And then I've got the D, C, B, so I'm using the 3rd, 2nd, 1st finger for that. And then into the 15th measure, slide it back down, 3rd finger for the C, slide down to the G sharp, 2nd finger for the A, stretch your 1st finger down to the 3rd fret for the C, for the triplets, and then there's a bit of a rest there. Right, so let's look at that again. I don't think that's the way I taught you just there. That's it. It's not necessarily the best way. It is one way. You might have an easier time if you try to go down to the A string. Right? Because you've got D, C, B, C, B, A, G sharp, A. And what you can do there is you can play the D, C, and B with your 3rd, 2nd, and 1st fingers on the E string, and the C again, and the B. When you get down to the A, if you can stretch your pinky out to the 12th fret, that's your A right there, 12th fret on the A string. So you've got, yeah, and you use your 3rd finger for the G sharp on the 11th fret, and then you just slide back. Okay? So from the 14th measure, that sounds like this. And we've got that rubato, that dotted note right there, so we rest a little bit, back into the B natural, and then it resumes its familiar. We got to mind that G sharp stretch right there, and a chord. A, use one finger for the A and the E, 2nd fret, 2nd fret. 3rd finger for the C sharp, 4th fret. Pinky for the A. Okay? So we end with that nice little chord right there. I hope that made sense for the first part. The second part as it goes on, we're now into the 17th measure. Starts similarly to the first bit. You've got a pickup note on the open E, and then you've got that double note there, so you want to play the E on the A string with your 3rd finger on the 7th fret, and then play the open E as well, right? You can't really tell that it's 2 notes at the same time, but it does have a nice extra ring to it, yeah? Move it back, F natural. Okay? So you've got E, F, E, D, C sharp, B natural. So we're back to our usual sort of our normal finger allocation, yeah? A, 30-second notes. Don't bother with the pinky here, just do the G to A. And then B flat, notice that one, yeah, that we've got a change. We've got a B natural, and then 3 notes later we're back to B flat, okay? So you've got to be aware of where your first finger is. Reading ahead while you're sight reading helps for this very much, because you can see the flat and natural changes coming. Bach loves doing this shit, it happens all the time. So keep trying to read ahead, yeah? Back into the 18th measure, still normal. This is great, I love this bit here. We've got cascading string interludes, right? So we've got the F on the first string, the open A, the B flat, open D. Okay, so you've got first fret, open string, first fret, open string. That's a C, G,